to go complex numbers. How to add, subtract, multiply complex numbers. This is it. On Monday, we'll talk about how to show what a complex number looks like, even though it is imaginary. Imagine. Everybody knows A, B, and C. Rattle them off. Square root, go. 4. 5 square root 2. Square root of 13, nothing we can do. Any problems? Take a second, soak it in. You good? Dennis, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. What happens when I do this?
Imaginary.
Now remember, square root of 16 comes from what number times itself? 4 times 4 gives me 16. Correct? But anytime we had a negative inside the radical, is there a number times itself that will give you a negative? No. You've got to have different signs. You'll never have the same number multiplied together to get a negative value. It's impossible. So, ladies and gentlemen, instead of just quitting, no one likes a quitter. Instead of just quitting, we've decided to move on. This is good, Paige. This is really good for you. Don't I look cute today, by the way? Thank you. All right, so what we are going to do, anytime you have a negative inside your radical, it's imaginary. How do we show imaginary numbers? Well, let's show you. We can break this up. Here we did 25 times 2, correct? And broke it up into 2 separate radicals. This was perfection. This was you stay. Well, we're going to do the same thing over here. Well, what's this? 4. It's a representation. The letter I will represent the square root of -1. Anytime you have a negative inside your radical, anytime you have a negative inside your radical,
See?
you can't see with your eye closed.
Well, no one can see your eye with your eyelids are closed.
Has nothing to do with seeing. We're talking about the eye.
Your eye right there.
Yes, it was. It was right there. I was pointing at it. You know it's there. Common sense. Casey's, 3 for $1. What about here? What's this going to be? Exactly the same, except what? How are we going to write it? Again, here's the thought. Square root -1 times square root 25 times square root 2. What does this equal to? I. Please don't use your middle finger, hon. That's terrible. Your nose picker. Pull it out. Put it on your eye. Okay? So this is I. This is 5. This is radical 2. How am I going to write that properly? What if it was a variable of x? Where would I put it? Would I put it before the radical or after? Maybe. Most people will put it right after your whole number before the radical. That is perfection. I mean, look at the star that I got. My teacher gave me stars. 4 stars. 4 out of 5 stars ain't bad. What about this one? What do you know for sure? We'll see. What do you know? We'll see. What do you know for sure? You should have imaginaries down by the end of the day. What do you know for sure here? Huh?
I don't know. Doesn't know which one you're talking about.
Oh. Well, then I'll quit with you too. All right. So we have a negative inside our radical. There you go. Some of you are going to get pretty quick at it. Hopefully. I'm I'm going to throw one in here. We'll call it H2. Let's go. What is it? Trip? 6i square root of 2. You know it's going to for sure have what in it? I. How do I know it's going to have an imaginary or an I value? Negative inside the radical. Paige.
So the I is pretty much just replacing the negative?
It replaces the square root of negative 1. It allows us to continue mathematically.
So what if I Q and F3 and F4?
Well, let's find out. That's a great question. So, imaginary numbers. If there's two things you can get today, it's these two. Don't really care about the rest. It's nice to know, not necessary. But these two are ginormous, knowing that I is equal to the square root of negative 1. Now, based on that theory, let me ask you this. What is radical 3 times radical 3? 3. What's radical heart times radical heart? Heart. Everybody agree at that? What's radical negative 1 times radical negative 1 then, in theory? Negative 1. Do you agree that the square root of negative 1 is I? Do you agree? I. What's I times I? I squared. So guess what I squared is equal to? Negative 1. I cannot stress this enough. Please know that I squared is negative 1. Good question. Would you agree that I cubed could be written as I squared times I?
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? So if it's the same as I squared times I, what's I squared?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. What's I?
Square root of negative.
I'll just leave it. I won't write square root of negative 1 ever. So, anybody want to guess what I to the fourth would be?
Negative 1.
Close.
Negative 2.
No.
1.
Why 1?
So it's negative 1 times negative 1.
Correct. Would you agree that I to the fourth is the same as I squared times I squared? Yeah. What's I squared? What's negative 1 times negative 1? Positive 1. So if you can do this right here, you're golden for today. All the rest is review, just using a different letter. It's all review. Anybody want to guess what I to the fifth is?
Negative I.
Nope. How about I to the sixth? Anybody? How about I to the seventh? Anybody want to guess I to the eighth? Do you see a pattern developing? I, negative 1, negative I 1. So this is I to the first, second, third, fourth. Fifth, it starts repeating. Sixth, it repeats. Seventh, 8, and so on. Anybody want to try to take a guess what I to the 25th would be?
Negative I.
1.
Anybody want to take a guess here?
Negative 1.
No. It is 1. Now, those of you that are going, what the factor is he talking about? Thanks, Bree. I'm going to show you a shortcut. It works every single time. Take the exponent. Take the exponent and divide by 4. Don't care how many times it goes in. Doesn't matter. In this case, it's 6, by the way. All I care about is, remember when you used to write the R for remainder? You never did that in elementary school? Well, then if you don't remember, then we need to go back and yell at our teachers next year on seniors come home. Okay? Please do that. What school did you go to so I don't send my children there? Oh, good. Okay, so remainder. I have a hard time believing that, by the way. So all I care about is the remainder. What's the remainder here? 1. What if I had a remainder of 2? Negative 1. What if I had a remainder of 3? Negative I. Can you have a remainder of 4? No. What if it divides evenly? So if there is no remainder, you're going to be on the blog tonight anyway, now that you've interrupted.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's 1. Okay? So let's look at 212. Divide 212 by 4. I don't know how many times, but let's see. 5. It goes in 53 with a remainder of 0. No remainder. Which one is it then? Can't have a remainder of 4. Done. Want to try one more? Bree, you ready? Bree will answer this. Please do not answer for her. Go.
I don't know.
Well, type it in your calculator, dude. How tough is it?
In my
When did laziness become something that's supposed to be accepted?
What our generation.
I don't like your generation then.
I don't like
I hate laziness. It drives me nuts.
Friday and it said there.
I don't care.
except for
It's only 6 hours. Just think it was 7.
Down. What? Is it shutting down?
What'd you get?
That.
It comes out even. There's no remainder.
Yeah.
So if there is no remainder, it has a remainder of 0. What is it?
That.
Say it!
1.
Done. Questions on this or this?
Is this only going to be on the blog tonight?
I'll keep it on there for 6 years. Okay? 20 seconds, solve. Ready? Go!
No.
Don't look at. Boy, I hope you can handle this. Christensen, Tammy's calling me this evening.
Oh God.
She wants to know how you're doing.
Your mom really wants you to be doing
I'm going to tell her the truth.
The truth? Oh Jesus. Please don't.
I do not lie. I've isolated x squared. What do we do next? Square root both sides. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do I know for sure here? 2 things.
Plus negative.
Plus minus Bree. 2 times. What else do I know for sure? I. Yes. How do I know that? Glass full. How do I know it's an I?
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay. Stop that video, please.